Welcome to the Presenter Circle podcast, episode 1, Why I Created the Presenter Circle. I'm Jennifer Natali, and in this first episode, I want to share with you why I created the Presenter Circle, who it's for, and why I care so deeply about helping people feel calmer, clearer, and more confident when they speak. If speaking in front of people makes your heart race, your mind spiral, or your mouth go dry, then you are not alone. And really, it doesn't mean that speaking or presenting isn't for you. How do I know this? Because I have lived it. I did not create the Presenter Circle because presenting always came naturally to me. I didn't create it because I feel calm when I speak or I never feel nervous. I still feel nervous. And I definitely didn't create it because I've always been confident. Absolutely far from it. I created it because I know exactly what it feels like to dread speaking in front of people. I know what it feels like when your heart is pounding so hard that you can hear the whooshing in your ears. And when your mouth goes so dry, you can barely speak or even get the words out. I know what it feels like when your heart and your mind start spiraling the minute anyone has got eyes on you. And then you start to wonder, why is this so hard for me when other people make it look so easy? That was me. Sometimes it's still me. I wasn't a particularly confident child. I was the kid who lifted the mum's skirt and hid underneath it. Not behind her, actually underneath it. And if someone spoke to me, I would go bright red from my chest into my throat, into my cheeks, into my ears. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. I feel like I've always been a little bit more introverted than people expect. Now, I know there's going to be people out there who will disagree with me, and that's okay because I'm not necessarily introverted with that group of people because I feel safe with them. And here is what is also true about me is I love teaching. I love sharing ideas. I love debating and bantering and watching people grow and develop. I love seeing people go from doubting themselves to backing themselves. That just fills my cup. That is what drives me in this space. You know, over the years, I have met so many people who say the same thing, or maybe a different version of the same thing. I would love to do what you do, but I can't. I'm not confident. I dread speaking in front of people. I freeze the moment I have to speak. I don't even want to turn my camera on or unmute. If that sounds like you, I want you to know this. Firstly, you're not alone. Secondly, you're not doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that speaking isn't for you. If you have a burning desire to do this, then let's find a way to make it happen. There was a time really that I genuinely thought that I wasn't cut out for this, not for presenting, not for speaking in front of people, not for having a YouTube channel, not for having a podcast. Yay, first episode. Because I just kept putting it off. I kept telling myself I wasn't ready. And eventually I started to believe that maybe this just wasn't going to be for me, that I need to try and find something else to do. That maybe I wasn't meant to present. Maybe I wasn't even meant to create the Presenter Circle. I told myself this after 30 years in the mental health sector, and even after 10 years of training and teaching and facilitating and presenting. That was the story that I was telling myself. So I know exactly where you are because I've been there too. And that was despite presenting in some pretty high pressure environments. You know, I was the president of a women's health organization. I was on the board. I presented to the board. I've managed multiple teams in the mental health sector. In my last role in mental health, I managed 5 services across Melbourne's Northwest. That meant that I was presenting constantly to executives, to the board, to colleagues, to managers, to staff, to clients, to other organizations. And still, every single time I could feel that rush in my body, my heart pounding, the whooshing sound. You know, one experience will stay with me for a very long time. I was facilitating the mental health first aid course, and it was something I'd delivered before, but this time I was delivering it to a group of colleagues. And wow, my nerves hit hard. My mouth was so dry. I was drinking after every 1 or 2 lines. They must have been thinking, what's wrong with her? Is she okay? My thoughts were all over the place. I put so much pressure on myself. And that my body just went straight into survival mode. And for the first half of that day, I wasn't even really presenting. I was just getting through. I was reading the slides. I was going through the motions. I felt very disconnected from the room. I felt like a presenter robot. So in the break, I had to regroup. I had to breathe. I had to settle my nerves, and I had to remind myself why I was there. And that's when I realized this. The hardest part was not the presentation itself. I knew the material, I knew the content, I had delivered it before. The hardest part was the story that I was telling myself about what my nerves meant. I was making my nerves mean something negative. That maybe I wasn't confident, that maybe I wasn't good at this, that maybe I was not cut out for this after all. And that is such an important distinction because so often it's not really the nerves themselves that throw us off. We think they do, but it's the meaning that we attach to them. We feel our bodies react, and then we make it mean something about who we are. That we're not capable somehow, that we're not articulate because we might stumble, that we're not the type of person who should be visible. But what I know now and what I teach in the presenters circle is confidence is not where speaking starts. Confidence is built over time. It grows when you have the right support. It grows when you have the right structure that you can rely on. And it grows when you understand what is happening in your nervous system instead of making it mean you are failing. And it grows when you get the chance to practice in a space that feels safe enough for your body to stay present and for your mind to stay focused. That's why I created the Presenter Circle. This is not just another public speaking course. It is not about throwing you in the deep end and hoping you become confident by surviving and not drowning. That is definitely never going to happen. And it's definitely not about pretending to be someone you are not. We are not about faking confidence. We are about building it. It is a place to learn. It is a place to practice. It is a place to calm your nerves so that you can think clearly and show up with the kind of presence that strengthens your inner confidence. So inside the presenter circle, we focus on real foundations that help people become stronger presenters. So yes, absolutely 100%. We focus on presentation skills, communication skills, how to engage with your audience, the storytelling, how you convey your message. But we go deeper than that. We look at your nervous system. We look at the stories that you tell yourself and why you're telling yourself that story. We look at how to build safety, because safety is what allows confidence to grow. One of the things that I'm most excited about is the practice. Not forced practice, not high pressure practice, supported practice. That is probably the bit that I am looking forward to the most. The monthly presentation sessions. So we've got some monthly strategy calls where we are going to strategize your presentation. What are the things you need to learn to present well? And then we've got the monthly presentation sessions, which is the space where you get to practice what you're learning. You know, that space where you get to take small, brave actions. I don't push you out of your comfort zone. I teach you how to expand it. It's a very different approach, because real confidence does not come from being pushed too hard or too fast. That can do more damage than good. It comes from evidence. It comes from support. It comes from repetition. And it comes from having someone believe in you while you are learning how to believe in yourself. And that matters deeply to me. I recently had a student contacted me, and it's probably been about 5 years after she completed the certificate 4 in mental health with me. I was training it at the time. And she sends me this message out of nowhere saying, I just wanted to thank you for your persistence and your support. No one has ever given that to me before. She told me that at the age of 30, she had never completed anything she had started. She had left school early, didn't complete year 12. She had dropped out of multiple courses and never really had anyone follow her up or believe in her. And then she told me, because of your support, I not only completed the Cert 4 in mental health, I have now completed my degree in social work. Honestly, I can feel being choked up now. That made me cry, because that is it for me. That is exactly what I want for the people who come into the presenter circle. Not perfection, not performance, not becoming some polished version of somebody else. I want you to be you, with all of your quirks and all of your specialness, because I have quirks. I'm okay. I own my quirks. I want you to trust yourself. I want you to trust yourself to speak with clarity. I want you to trust yourself to be seen and to be heard and know that your message matters. And to be honest, there's content everywhere. People consume so much content, and a lot of it is AI-driven content, let's face it. So they can listen to YouTube, they can listen to podcasts like this and content like this. But what your audience needs is not more information. They need your message. That's why I'm here. They need your presence. They need human presence. And it might just be your way of delivering the message that lands with them. And that matters. So if you're a small business owner or a professional who dreads speaking in front of people, this was created for you. And if you're listening to this thinking, yes, that is me, but I don't even know where to start, I want to invite you to something free. I'm hosting a free masterclass called Present with Confidence on Thursday, the 12th of March at 9:30 a.m. So if you're a business owner, get your diary, block out that hour, 9:30 to 10:30 on the 12th of March. And if you're working, tell your manager this is an hour's training. I'm going to walk you through the 4 pillars that I use to help people become stronger, calmer, and more confident presenters over time. We'll cover clarity, so knowing what your message is and knowing what you want your audience to take away. We're going to cover structure, so using a really simple framework so you know what comes next and you don't ever have to wing it. We're going to cover safety, because safety is the missing link. Learning how to settle your nervous system when the pressure is on so that your body doesn't work against you. And we'll cover the importance of practice, because confidence grows when you practice in a supportive environment. The masterclass is designed to help you speak more clearly and more confidently without changing who you are. This is not about becoming louder or more polished or performative. It is about becoming more grounded, more articulate, even if you stumble, and more trusting of yourself. So if that sounds like exactly what you need, I would love for you to join me and register for the free Present with Confidence Masterclass on Thursday, the 12th of March at 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. The link is around the episode somewhere. So go and save your spot. I would love to see you there. Thanks for being here for episode 1 of the Presenter Circle podcast. If this episode spoke to you, come and join me for the free Present with Confidence Masterclass on Thursday, the 12th of March at 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. The link is around the episode somewhere, and I would love to see you there.